So in today's Vedum, however you want to pronounce it, video, we're going to get vulnerable. And the best way I know how to be vulnerable is to be completely vulnerable. So I am going to be emotionally and mentally vulnerable. And along with that, I've decided to be physically vulnerable. So I'm in my where I feel most vulnerable, where I just finished showering, so my hair is wet. My face is really shiny. I'm not wearing any makeup. I am using my light box right now. Tell me if you like this sort of light thing, because normally I use natural light, but I wanted to play around with it and see how it looks. Those things aren't necessarily related to the topic of this video, other than the fact that this is me being very vulnerable in front of a camera, and that is something that's very hard for me to do. And this is a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a very long time, and I'm very afraid to talk about it. It's something I get scared to talk about. Okay, so I made a video when I was 15, and it was called I Am Gender Fluid. Pretty much, I came out as gender fluid. If you don't know what gender fluid is, gender fluid means you internally feel like you move in between the genders of being male and female, or in between. Pretty much you feel like you fluidly move in between genders, and you can express it in many ways. And gender is a very vast topic. It's something that's very hard to cover in one video. It's something a lot of YouTubers talk about now, which makes me so happy. A lot of big YouTubers acknowledge it and talk about trans issues and talk about non-binary genders and talk about this. There's a lot of videos about it. So if you want to educate yourself further on the term gender fluid, or on trans genders or non-binary genders, I will link a couple of YouTubers below if you don't know what I'm talking about right now. But if you have been with me for a while, you'll probably remember this video. You'll probably remember it had over 100,000 views. That was a video I made for myself, and I also made it so that I could come out to a lot of people in my personal life in a very easy, solid way, so I wouldn't have to do it like with every single person individually. I could just do it like, bam, I made a video talking about it. And I was 15 at the time. I was still figuring myself out. I'm still figuring myself out. And I got a lot of traction. As I said, I got over 100,000 views. It is currently hidden on my channel, and the comments are disabled. A lot of people came to me saying that video helped them. That video, they connected with it. That video helped them realize that they didn't identify with being cisgender or the gender they were assigned at birth. And it was really nice. It was really cool. I felt like I was slowly building this community of people who had always sort of known something was a little, like, not completely, you know, aligned, but never really had the right words for it. And that's the cool thing about words, is that words are constantly being created to express and define feelings. Along with that, I got negative hate. I got people who told me to kill myself. I got people who said they would shoot me if they saw me in the street. I got death threats. I got people who told me I was a special snowflake and I was trying to get attention. And like, man, I don't necessarily understand those people, or why they feel like they have the time to attack a 15-year-old, or why you would want to attack a 15-year-old. Like, that 15-year-old is not hurting anybody. They're just fucking coming out and being like, hey, I feel this way. You don't necessarily understand it. That person's 15. Like, leave them the fuck alone. Anyways, I was very open about it for a very long time. I was very open about it on my blog, and I talked about it more on my blog than on my YouTube channel. But pretty much, fast forward to now, I never talk about it, and I never address it, and I get questions about it all the time. Barry, what's your gender? Barry, what pronouns do you use? Barry, why don't you talk about it anymore? So I thought I would answer some of these questions that people ask me all the time, so you can get some answers. Whenever I see videos of YouTubers, or YouTubers in general, talking about trans issues, coming out or acknowledging non-binary genders, it feels so validating. It makes me so, like, about to cry right now, but it makes me so happy, and it makes me feel so good, and it reminds me that it's a really good thing. And I forget how good it is, how good it feels to be validated, and how good it is to see that representation, to be like, I am not alone in this, and I am not weird, and I am not just making it up, and I'm not trying to just get attention. This is something that I am, and that other people are, and other people experience, and that needs to be talked about so people can educate themselves and people can learn. There's an actor, I can't remember their name, but they were playing a non-binary character, and we're talking about non-binary people at the Oscars, and like how the categories are very gendered, and how we need to break that. And seeing that made me feel so happy. it made me feel really good, especially because right now I'm currently not out at my workplace. I spend most of my time working, so I am misgendered most of the time, and that's really tough. It's really tough to be like, oh, hey, you guys are really lovely, but I don't know how you would react if you found out that I identify with being non-binary. By the way, that's the first thing I should probably address while rambling on about this. I identify now with being non-binary. If you don't know what non-binary means, it means that I identify as not really feeling male or female, just kind of feeling like a person. And if you don't understand that or don't get it, then okay, cool. It's just me. It's just who I am. I'm not going to use it to hurt anybody or attack anybody. It's just me existing. It's something that's personal to me and something that I feel and my own experience in life. And you're experiencing your experience and I'm experiencing my experience, and we can experience things separately and feel things separately, and that's okay. I prefer they, them pronouns at my workplace or in a professional setting. I let people use she, her for me, just as I said, because I don't necessarily feel comfortable being out. I just don't know if it's a safe space yet. So pretty much I'm kind of gonna figure out how to test the waters on that. But yeah, I identify with being non-binary. I use they, them pronouns. And if it's something that you don't understand and don't have any intention of understanding or having some sort of open mind about, if you want to unsubscribe to my channel, you can. It's cool. My content might not be for you. You might be like, what is not being non-binary? I've never heard this word before. You could Google it if you'd like to. You can also educate yourself on it. I'm tired of being quiet about my transness. I know that I would just be so much happier if I let myself back into being open about it, and if I let myself talk about it again, and we actually use my channel as a platform to be a safe space for trans kids and queer kids and kids and even adults or teenagers or people who are scared and who are trying so hard to embrace themselves while being afraid of it because they know that it's hard and it's tough and that people are going to attack you for it. So despite how terrified I am about this and how scared I am to talk about it again, I want to do this because that validation thing, to be a person that other people can see and be like, hey, I'm not alone in this. It's important. It's important to be part of the representation, and it's important to speak out and educate people. If you have more questions about it, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them or answer them in a new video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah.